Ungdomsradio.
Hello everyone, this is Marta.
This is Anna.
And this is You've Got 5 Options show.
And I cannot hear myself in a headset, so I'm not sure if we are... Can people hear us? Hello everyone, if you can hear me, that's wonderful, because I cannot hear myself, so that's quite confusing for me. As you know, probably, this is You've Got 5 Options show, and today we have a very, very special guest who will be not only talking with us, but also playing his music live on air.
Yes, and we are so excited to be here, and it's a live show, and it's very, very alive, and Anna can hear herself now as well, so she's super relieved.
Now guys, it's like, as you noticed, every single live show, new challenges appear, and this time I couldn't hear myself. But yeah, and this is also one of those very first programs that we are recording. And recording by this, I mean by a camera. So you might also see the visual of this. And I am not happy about this camera. Hi, guys, staring at me right now. So let's see how this will go.
You look beautiful. Everything is going to be fine. And today we have a beautiful topic. As beautiful as Anna.
Oh, Jesus.
To discuss. And this is
Jesus.
The power of purpose.
Yeah.
That's the topic for today. And we have invited Paul. Paul, can you please say how you say your full name? Because I'm afraid to, that I will come up with some weird way of saying your last name.
Yeah. Well, the English way would be Paul Bader.
Okay,
yeah.
so you have different versions of your surname depending on the audience.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, so we should say Paul Bader, not Vader, not like a...
No, I actually had that nickname during high school.
Yeah, I think it's a cool nickname.
It's a very cool nickname. Very. Yeah.
Although your voice is a bit different than Vader's, and I think thank God, because he was not a good singer. Although there was something in his voice that moved us all. In all directions.
In some way.
Yeah.
Less or more purposeful.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, a big topic for this beautiful Friday afternoon. Well, what the heck? It's raining like hell. Why am I saying it's beautiful? I guess I'm confused still. So, yes.
You're building the nice atmosphere, Marta. That's what you do.
So, life purpose. It's a big topic, isn't it? And it's coming around in circles, at least for me, like all the time. I hear about it, I read about it, I'm asked about it, I ask people about it. It's a big deal. So I'm going to hit you with this one in a moment. But let us tell our listeners a little bit about you, Paul. So we know you're Paul Bader / Vader from the past.
That's one.
But tell us, who are you, Paul?
I... will be actually 20 in a few days.
Oh, happy birthday. No, it's a bad luck to wish you happy birthday before you are turning your birthday. Okay, so 20, that's young.
Yeah, still, I appreciate the congratulations.
Yeah.
I come from Romania, and I study multimedia design here in Denmark.
Okay, but that's not what you want to share today, right?
No, that was the very basic introduction that everybody gets, I guess.
But Paul, can I just ask you a question? Why? How did you got here to this radio station? How did this all happen?
Well, I found out about the post that you made, that you were looking for guests, and it seemed very appealing, to share things from my perspective. And about my passion, which is music.
Okay.
So it was a very nice opportunity at the right time.
And I guess it was quite spontaneous, right?
Yeah.
So you just saw it, and then you clicked on it, and then you filled in the super awesome online form, which I created. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As a multimedia designer, I can really appreciate that one. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, but
kudos
guys,
to that.
I have to say that this is that simple. We did put some announcement on Facebook that we would like to have some guests. So we put this announcement, we put a link, and Paul just applied. So we have never met him before. We just met him through the form that is super well designed, as he says.
Yep.
And you just applied, and that was pretty much all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so it's pretty much spontaneous. You were not planning to be on the radio at all.
No, it came as a surprise. Even you calling back, it was very unexpected and very, very fast.
And you know why? Because we care here. We are not some kind of, ruthless people in the radio. We actually really want to have guests here. And you were the first person who sent us the form.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I think you replied within literally like an hour or two. It was very, very fast. So we also took it as a sign, I guess, that we have to dig into that. So let's call it a destiny today. And if we are on a destiny topic, Marta, then maybe we can also gently slide into the purpose.
Yes, I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on this, that Paul is here because of his music. So that's your passion. That's something that you came here to share with us today, right?
Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit why music is so important to you.
Well, music has been a very big part of my life since as long as I can remember. Me and my sister joined the choir for like 5 or 6 years old, and afterwards I continued with singing lessons, but then it just kind of faded away for a while. But in my teenager period, it really came back. So I took that as a sign that it's like, it was clear that it's something that I like. And recently I've also started making music, and I started with covers. And music in general helps me with things that I'm dealing with. It's like almost some sort of therapy, It's like you listen that somebody else is going through the same thing, or I don't know. Either way, if it's happy or sad. So it was a nice way to get in my safe place.
Yeah, I think that this is something that I can definitely relate to because I'm a writer. And whenever I have some sort of difficult moments in my life or emotions I have to deal with, I write. And then when I write, I share it. And it gives me a certain relief. So I think art in general, it's a way of channeling your emotions.
Yeah.
And also feeling connected with others, especially if you listen to someone who goes through something and you can identify with it. And also through creating art, many times I think we go through some kind of catharsis or healing. So is this, am I putting words in your mouth, or is this how you feel?
No, actually, while listening to that, it just came into my mind this quote that I think I saw on probably social media, that it was like something like, my music will tell you about myself more than I will ever, probably.
Yeah.
So I totally agree.
Okay, great. So I think that is a perfect way to transition to the purpose topic. So, Anna, will you tell me what life purpose is for you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Marta, for asking this great question. And I will answer because I actually have my own private definition. So Paul and Marta will ask you this question, which I am absolutely sure will happen very, very soon. We are not looking for any definitions because I think it's a very intimate and private thing for all of us, right? So I would say that for me, a purpose is a combination of two things: a passion you have for something, and on the other hand, the way you can actually serve others with that passion or help people. So basically, I love to write, and that's a passion of mine. And I love to put my emotions into my writing. but that's a passion. If I know that my writing can touch another human being, and through my writing I can help someone to smile or to reflect or to give hope or whatever that would be, I consider that as a purpose. Because then my passion, it's not only something self-indulgent, something I like to do in my free time for myself or for fame or whatever, but I actually touch other people's lives. Marta, do you like this answer?
I do like this answer a lot. Thank you. I knew that I could count on you when it comes to life purpose.
That was a true definition of an artist. You're a true, complete artist.
Oh, thank you. I like to consider myself like that. But this is. It took me a while to get into this definition.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to define. You have to have years of a journey and stuff. So yeah.
So how about you, Paul? What is a life purpose for you?
I probably don't know a very specific kind of idea that I take as my purpose, but I came to the conclusion very recently that it's so important to find the things that make you happy and to just do them. So I guess my purpose is to be happy, to find happiness. And it's more simple than I thought, before. Because it's not like, it's not a destination. It's like learning to enjoy the happy moments and the happy little things around you. So my purpose is to keep learning to enjoy little things.
Wow, that's
really great, and I really like because you actually gave an answer on how to find your life purpose. It is actually through acting up on those little things that bring you joy. So both of you guys gave a really great definition of
High
the
five.
purpose.
Yay!
yeah.
And I will tell you that I love this approach where we talk about the inner purpose and the higher purpose. And the inner purpose is like you are just living through it. You can never go wrong because you breathe it. That's what you do. That's the family you're born into. That's relationships that you build. That's the things that you do. So you can never go wrong. It's just happening through you. So your inner purpose, you are breathing it, you are acting upon it, and so on. And then there is the higher purpose. So this is something that some people call like, this is why you were sent to this world, so that you can fulfill a specific mission. And I love this approach. I read it on Forever Conscious. That's a portal I can recommend to everyone. And I think this article about inner vs higher purpose is really great. And the higher purpose, the person that wrote this article said that so far, and I think it's a she, if it's a he, I apologize, she identified the three higher purposes, is to heal, to deliver a message, or to bring revolution. So your inner purpose, you can never go wrong with it. That's just simply what you live through in everyday life. And the higher purpose is one of the three or something else. That's just that's just what the person has identified. So if you would have to choose one, have you come here to heal, to deliver a message, or to bring revolution? Which one would you answer?
I think is the one with like bringing something to the table is like
Delivering the message.
yeah.
I think this is a purpose of many artists, to be honest, deliver the message.
What about you, Anna? Difficult one, huh?
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because, as you might suspect, I'm a bit older than Paul. And I have more time to experience different things. So I guess it was changing over the time. So I would say at one point I thought that I'm here to bring a revolution. Then I was thinking that maybe I'm here to deliver a message. Then I had my episodes with maybe I'm here to heal some people. So now I am open to rediscovery of my higher purpose.
I do think that it's possible that it's more than one, and I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think this is like black and white. I was just curious, if you had to choose one, what is the most present for you right now? Which one of them? For example, for me, the most present right now is to heal. For example, but I have also been considering to deliver the message and so on. For you is to deliver the message right now, and if you
Yeah.
have to choose one right now, which is the most present one for you?
Oh, what the hell? I will bring the revolution. Why not?
Okay. So I wanted to say one more thing about those two purposes, which I thought was great. So apparently, according to Forever Conscious, if you manage to tune in into your inner purpose and align it with your higher purpose, this is where the magic happens. So it's like you can never go wrong, because whatever you do, you are within your inner purpose, your higher purpose. That's something that is like why you were sent here. So it is something that you have within your life, so to speak. But actually, the magic happens when you align both of them. So if what you are living through and breathing through and doing is aligned with your higher purpose, this is when the magic happens. This is where there's a lot of joy, and this is where apparently you can, go in this full alignment and the
Even
right
just
path.
thinking about it, it brings you like this beautiful image, like everything is
In place, yeah.
yeah.
I actually have a connected question with that. Paul, what would happen if I would tell you that from tomorrow you cannot play music anymore? How would that make you
Please
feel?
don't do that.
No, let's say hypothetically
Yeah.
in some different dimension when I actually have a power to say that to you. But how would you feel?
Well, I guess I would go to my B plan, which is still art, and it's like in general, because throughout the years I kind of tried different sorts of art, and I'm actually already doing it. It's like I wouldn't actually call it a B plan, because I'm already working on it. The studies that I have now, multimedia design, I've always been passionate about photography, and I tried drawing and painting, and also fell in love with the technological part. So it's a great way of combining them, and it's still art. I've been gravitating towards art since forever. So I guess if music just would get out of the question, I would probably just continue with the multimedia design. But for now, I guess I'm doing them both.
But how would it make you feel? I know that you have a plan B because you are a student in your 20s. You have plan B, C, D,
Yeah.
Z. But how would that
Yeah.
make you feel?
It would devastate me, really.
And I think that was an answer that I was hoping for. Please don't get me in the wrong way, but I am trying to refer to what Marta just said. When you are living your inner purpose and it's
Yeah.
aligned with your higher purpose, this is when you are happy. So I guess when you are living your inner purpose, you are living, breathing, and existing, yet you are not fulfilling your higher purpose. This is when you become unhappy, or, as I will quote Paul, devastated. So I think that this is actually quite interesting information when you think about if something is my purpose or not. Think about, what if I will not be able to do it tomorrow ever again? How would that make me feel? And if you feel devastated or sad, it means that this is something really important for your soul.
Yeah. It's like a quick test to do for yourself.
Yeah.
So talking about your soul and making quick tests and music, which you love, could you please tell us which is the first song that you have prepared for today that you would like us to play for our listeners?
The first song is called Never Give Up on You. It's a song that was featured in the Eurovision Song Contest, I think in 2016 or 17, I'm not sure. But I really like that song because it's talking to someone very dear to you. But I guess you could also interpret it as a letter to yourself, encouragement to yourself.
Okay, that sounds really exciting, and we will play the song in a second. We should know it because we watch Eurovision every year, Marta. So if we don't know it, it's extremely, extremely.
Okay, afterwards, I want to know which country it represents. If
If
you
we
could guess, yeah.
okay, but we will play the song right now.
I'll keep them safe. No sign of weakness, it's a sign of faith. We'll stand tall, so you don't fall. You're not defeated, you're in repair. Don't have to call me, I'll always be there. We'll stand tall, so you don't fall. If you could see how far you've walked, you would see that's all not lost. I will never give up on you. I don't care what I've got to lose. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this storm. I will never give up on you. You're the one that I'm running to. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this storm. Under the surface, I see you glow. I'm right beside you, you're never alone. Don't let go when you're so close. If you could see how far you've walked, you would see that's all not lost. I will never give up on you. I don't care what I've got to lose. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this storm. I will never give up on you. You're the one that I'm running to. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this madness. We're running through this magic. It's inside of you. It's madness. It's madness. Now you can see how far you've walked. The mountains climbed, the oceans cried. I don't care what I've got to lose. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this storm. I will never give up on you. You're the one that I'm running to. Just give me your hand and hold on. Together we'll dance through this storm.
Okay, we are back here in the studio. It's You've Got 5 Options show with Marta, Anna, and Paul, our special guest.
Vader. And we actually had a conversation while we were listening to this wonderful cover. What is this song? And you have chosen a song from Eurovision 2016 from Great Britain. And if there are any British people listening to us right now, I have to say that you usually are not sending the strongest songs, but this was a very nice rendition of the song from Eurovision. So great job, Paul. Really.
Thank you. And I think it was actually from the 2017. Although
17. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Now I'm going
Approved.
I'm going to very naturally bring us to the second part of our show.
That was very
Yes,
natural.
very
Yeah.
natural.
Yes.
So what we are going to do now is we are going to discuss the 5 questions that we have engaged our listeners and followers to find the answers from. And we will, of course, be asking those questions to Paul. So the way it will go is we have the 5 questions related to the power of the purpose. We will ask Paul, and then Anna will be telling you what our listeners, followers responded to that. So the first question is, Paul, who did you want to be when you grow up?
I'm sure I'm not the only one that went through phases. But I guess the very, very first thing that I wanted to become, when I was about to grow up, was an architect.
Architect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe maybe not for the right reasons. It was mainly because I was playing with Lego a lot, as a kid, and I don't know. I don't know what I actually liked about it. It was also constructing, something from scratch, but it was probably also the colors, It was like some some combination of art and
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Cool.
I was not expecting this answer, by the way, Paul. You have slightly surprised me. But thank you for that. And I think Lego is cool indeed.
Okay, and Anna, will you tell us who did you want to be when you grow up and who our listeners wanted to be when they grow up?
When I was really little, and by that I mean 3 years old, that's my first memory, or actually it's not my memory, it's my mother's memory. She said that I was introducing myself. My name is Anna and I want to be a cleaning lady.
oh,
Yes, that was my dream when I was 3. And then since I was, I think, 8, 9 years old, I wanted to be a writer. So that was my dream. And Marta, what was your dream?
So this is where I'm always like, am I the only person on earth that either doesn't remember at all who I wanted to be or have never known who I want to be when I grow up? So I remember, of course, since I was a teenager, changing that idea who I want to be when I grow up every few months. But from childhood, literally, I don't remember who I wanted to be when I grow up. Literally don't remember.
Enigma. Okay, that's quite interesting because most of people do have some kind of dreams when they are kids. And I will tell you now, and I will put you guys into shame because Marta, you don't remember and you wanted to be an architect. Those are dreams of people who are 15 and not children because our listeners responded inventor, 3 people said writer, journalist, 1 people said revolutionist. Then there was 1 person who said a mom. 2 people said they wanted to be in an army, be a soldier. 1
Wow.
person wanted to be like Nelson Mandela. Then there was someone who just said, I wanted to be a happy person. 1 person said someone famous. There was 1 girl who said president's wife and someone adventurous. So as you can see, all of those dreams are not really representing lucrative career paths that now we are being fit to, like a manager or
Oh, yeah.
none of those kind of things. The closest to some kind of organized job is the soldier army because you have to have a discipline. So it's actually extremely interesting to see that people had all sorts of weird ideas, especially president's wife is something that really was like, whoa, that's a specific dream for a little girl. Yeah. So then we ask another question because actually the line that we followed was that many times when we are kids, we want to be someone. And then we grow up, we become a teenager, and by that time, as Marta said, remember when you told last time when we had a live show, how many times do we hear no or you can't when we are growing up?
So up until the age when we are like about 17, we have heard no about 175,000 times on average, and only yes about 5,000 times.
Yeah, so that's
Oh.
actually quite terrifying news.
Sad.
Yes, it's very sad. So imagine all of those little revolutionists, writers, and Nelson Mandela's and president's wife are being
Yeah.
said no and no and no throughout all their childhood, and then they are forgetting their childhood dream. And the funny thing is, there are some theories that are saying that what you wanted to be as a kid can be actually your true purpose. That was something related to your higher purpose, but then all the education and all the culture around you and the society has squeezed that purpose by saying no constantly, so you had to choose something more rational. So the second question was, Marta?
Is your childhood dream reflected in what you are doing today? So let's go into Lego and being architecture and what you're doing today.
Well, as I said earlier, I guess it is partially that I still create something, that I still give something. Yeah,
You do something creative because multimedia design is
Yeah.
about designing, and it's about some sort of, I would say, digital architecture. Am I even like getting close? Because I'm trying to see, because
Yeah.
I have to say something, Paul. You are a very interesting case because you are someone who had a rather rational dream about being an architect and ended up wanting to be a musician. And usually
It's the
the
other.
tendency is the other way around.
Yep.
So someone wants to be a superstar singer or a famous in a famous band, and then he chose to be an architect. So that's an interesting thing for
Yeah.
me to hear.
Yeah, but I guess, yeah, as I said, I'm still, I'm still some sort of architect. I build graphic design, I build music.
And I guess you still like colors, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly. Marta, what about you? Are you following the dream you didn't have?
So for sure, it's very difficult to follow the dream that you don't remember. But I can definitely follow up on some of the things that I enjoyed doing when I was a child. So if our life purpose is reflected somehow in what we enjoy doing, I certainly have enjoyed doing radio. I was recording myself a lot when I was a child, and here I am today at the radio. And we know about you, Anna.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah, we know that you are a writer.
Yeah.
So you are actually very consistent in your childhood dream being reflected in what you do now. So
I like to think
what
that.
about cleaning? Is that still
Yeah, that kind of didn't really fall through, I would say. Yeah, I'm not sure why I would have a dream like this. Maybe I wanted things to be organized or, like a safe and happy place. I'm trying to find a parallel because otherwise this dream is kind of silly. And actually 33% of our responders said that they are not having their childhood dream reflected because it was kind of silly. So if I would go to that dream, I would say, that was probably me. 33% said that they partially have their childhood dream reflected in their current life. So that's actually quite nice. 8% said that yes, they do exactly what they wanted
Oh, wow.
as they were a kid, 26% said no, but I am currently working on following that dream. So actually 26% of respondents are trying to come back to their childhood dream. And then that's pretty much all, because we also had the answer not at all, but I wish I had. No one answered that. So people are either very okay with not having that dream because it was silly, or they are
Working
currently
on it.
trying to follow that dream, or they think that they are actually doing something in that category. And I think one answer is really, really interesting. Yes, I do exactly what I wanted when I was a kid. Dear people who responded that, this is a special message to you. If you can call us on number 60 29 75 50, that's our number here at the station, please tell us what you do.
Oh, please.
Because that is, I really want to know a person that is doing exactly what he or she wanted when he was a kid. It's really, I really am curious. Please call us 60 29 75 50.
And with this announcement to
Yes.
please call us, and we have the phone ready, we will move to the third question, which was, do you know your life purpose? And the reason why we started to discuss what the purpose actually is at the beginning of the show was exactly because we calculated the results. So we thought that it would be a nice thing to do, to start actually discussing. So we already know from you, Paul. So Anna, let's jump right into the statistics about the life purpose.
50% of people do not know what is their life purpose. 38% of people know what is their life purpose, and 12% are giving more philosophical answers like life is a journey, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And I think that means I am on my journey to discover it. I think I would interpret these answers in this category. So 50% of people still don't know what their life purpose is. That's quite a lot.
And I think it's very interesting because if someone comes to me with this question, do you know what is your life purpose? every time I get like, oh, holy crap, do I know it or don't I know it? And kind of like, I always get confused. And then when I reflect back on it, then when I look into my favorite definition of inner purpose and higher purpose, then I actually do know. So it's quite interesting, because some of us, maybe we don't think in those categories, and maybe we have to reflect back on it, and maybe we have to get inspired somehow. What does it actually mean to us? What this life purpose or purpose is? Because I think we know it. I think we all know it. I think it's just that we don't know how to access the answer.
Yeah.
So I think that's the deal. I think it's to reading this kind of thing like inner purpose, higher purpose, I think it's impossible not to know at all what your life purpose is. I think that people sometimes think that maybe they have to be like super specific, that my life purpose is to save the cactus living on the this desert or whatever. And I think that's why people sometimes think that they don't know. But when you like get the inspirational answers to like your life purpose is actually what brings you joy in life, and this kind of thing, this is where you feel aligned, and these kind of things, then you actually know that you have the access to that answer always, which is cool for me, because I tend to forget. It's like, so the first time someone asks me, do you know life purpose? I'm like, damn it, I haven't figured it out yet. And then when I take it from this other perspective, I'm like, of course I do. It's just that I'm not maybe fully clicked into it. Maybe I'm not fully tuned into my purposes. But actually, when I think about it and then when I look at it this way, I do know it.
Well, I will say, Marta, that 50% of people, they don't know what their life purpose is. But if we'll get to question number 4, and we had a question, how did you discover your life purpose? 40% people responded, I am not sure what life purpose is. So not only people don't know what their life purpose is, but they also don't know what life purpose means. So that's why we actually started with this show with, trying to give our own definitions. And I think what you said, Paul, was very much on spot, and what Marta just elaborated on, because I think the discovery of a life purpose is when you do something and it brings you joy. That is the compass you're having.
Yeah.
So look at the things that bring you joy, happiness, and fulfillment, and follow that lead. So, Paul, question to you. Would it be then architecture, Lego, or music? What brings you the biggest joy?
I think I will have to say music.
So it is music indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that you should actually, that's why you have a good instinct on exploring that, because what brings you the biggest joy probably is that thing you are meant to be doing, I would say. But other people responded, because we have more responses. How did you discover your life purpose? So 40% of respondents didn't even know what life purpose means, or they are not sure. 30%, I haven't yet, but I'm looking for it. So it's quite a topic to, and I meet this topic actually quite often. People are looking for their life purpose. They feel like they need to discover that purpose. 20% said through actively trying different things and observing how they make me feel. And 10%, it just hit me one day. It was like a piano of purpose falling on my head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect case scenario.
Yeah, why people always say that? Because people are like, life purpose, I will walk on the street one day and I will have this eureka moment and I will know. And I think it's extremely idealistic, very romantic.
Yeah.
But 10%, experience that. But the rest actually are trying different things.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I strongly agree on the trying.
Yeah.
Because it's just the people that really know it, I guess you could just call it luck or the right moment. But otherwise, you just have to try things.
Yeah, I also agree with that. And I think that people who know it, it's a great story, but I think we also get discouraged when we are trying and we still don't know, because we have this vision that it should hit me one day. And then we are like, it's not hitting me, it's not coming, so I will just stop looking. When in reality, most of us, we have to try different things and we have to open up for the opportunities. That's actually my personal opinion. What do you think about that, guys?
So I think this is a very tricky thing, the part of discovering your life purpose. But I think I have already elaborated on that before, this part of, then my immediate answer is no, I don't know. But then when I start, reflecting on it and reading what life purpose actually is, then I suddenly know. So it's a very interesting thing. But I would like us to move to the last question.
I was thinking if we should leave it for the next part, because then we will ask Paul a little bit more about the last question. Yeah? Should we? Or should we talk now? Because then we will have to go with the song, because Paul prepared 2 more songs today. Should we go with a song now?
I'm totally up for it.
Are you? Yes? Yeah. Okay, so Paul, I will play the next song, but before I will do it, I would like you to tell us why you chose this and what this song means to you.
So this next song is the famously "Look What You Made Me Do" song made by Taylor Swift. I try to cover songs that really mean something to me and that I can relate to, and I guess this was a moment in life where I really related to this song. It was sort of a inconvenient moment, and I was like, I'm treating music like my diary, you could say. So I just came home and I got the mic and I was like, damn, look what you made me do. And I recorded the cover.
Okay, that sounds lovely. So I guess we will play it right now. This is Look What You Made Me Do by Paul Bader.
I don't like your little games, don't like your tilted stage, the role you make me play of the fool. No, I don't like you. I don't like your perfect crime, how you laugh when you lie. You said the gun was mine, isn't cool. No, I don't like you. But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. And the arrows up from the dead, I do it all the time. I've got a list of names and yours is in red underline. I check it once, then I check it twice. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do. I don't like your kingdom keys. They once belonged to me. You asked me for a place to sleep, locked me out and threw a feast. What? The world moves on, another day, another drama. But not for me, not for me. All I think about is karma. And then the world moves on, but one thing's for sure. Maybe I got mine, but you'll all get yours. But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time. I've got a list of names and yours is in red underline. I check it once, then I check it twice. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me. I'll be the actor starring in your bad dreams. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me. I'll be the actor starring in your bad dreams. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me. I'll be the actor starring in your bad dreams. I don't trust nobody and nobody.
And You've Got 5 Options is back after the cover done by Paul Bader.
Slash Vader.
Yes. And we are back discussing the power of purpose. And now we are going quite deep because we are discussing how do you keep on going when following your purpose doesn't bring you effects. And that brings us to the 5 life guidelines that Paul would like to share with us. So let's have a look, Paul. What it is that keeps you going?
And maybe just to put you in a mood, I will quickly tell you that people have answered. We got only 3 answers, and one person said, I look hopefully into the future. Another said, I'm looking at rough times in the past. So 2 very different strategies. Either I'm hopeful or I'm reflecting at the past. And then one person wrote, I make sure that I have a variety of things I really enjoy doing and switch between them. So those were the answers of our listeners on a question, how do you keep on going when following your purpose doesn't bring you effects? And I remember when we were talking over the phone, you told us the whole story of how you started with the music. And that's when we thought, okay, we have to ask him how he was keep on going. So we are looking forward for your tips.
Okay. Well, I guess for me, it was also a mixture of the answers that you got there from the audience. I guess you just need to take a moment and to really think about the things, as I said, the things that make you happy, and to appreciate what you have right now, to look at the bright side. I guess that's the very first step, is to look at the bright side, appreciate the things that you have. You can also look back in the past to look on the lessons that you learned, because I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything has something to teach you. But you can also, it's good to also look into the future and be like, okay, I will apply the things that I learned from the past. But if you want me to make them into like 5, I just have to open my list here.
Yes, Paul is opening his list. I can confirm.
It's accessed. We're getting into it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wrote here is to do what makes you happy. As I said, whether if it's related to the purpose, or not. So either way, just take a break and analyze things and just say to yourself, this is what makes me happy. This is what makes me happy, and just work on those, because life's too short to just focus on the negative stuff.
That's a really mature thing to say from someone who's 20 years old. I feel very old sometimes, but it's very mature approach, I have to say.
Then the second thing is to push your boundaries. Challenge yourself. I know sometimes it's so hard to practice what you preach, and I can relate to that. I was just working on assignment for school, and I just couldn't make it work. But I'm still happy that I made this decision to follow these studies, because they challenge myself. They challenge me into a direction that I chose before. So I know I'm on the right path. It's just things that come along the way, but you just have to get through them. You just have to get up and so push your boundaries, but also know your limits. Because it's silly to just dive into something without looking. So also be prudent. A third thing would be the fact that everything happens for a reason. I choose to believe that because it brings me peace of mind. To just know that nothing happens like for by mistake, that everything that we go through is meant to teach us something and to show us something.
Yeah, actually, I think this is quite interesting that you mentioned that, because, yeah, how do you keep on going when you are following something you believe in, and then it doesn't bring you any effects? And that is connected, in my opinion, with something like a failure or rejection. Because, if you are doing something and you hope for the effects to come, and these effects, they don't simply come, you feel like you are not doing, or you are doing something wrong, or it can hit you, even you personally, your ego. But if you take this approach of everything happens for a reason, and maybe I'm rejected because there is a reason for that, or maybe this failure is supposed to teach me something, or maybe there is something better waiting for me, and if I would take this chance, then I would not get that great chance that is over there. Exactly. I think that can really help. What do you think, Marta?
Yeah, I think this can really help, and I think it's so beautiful to hear something like that from someone who is just 20 years old, This kind of, I really love the way you expressed it. It just gives me peace of mind to know that everything happens for a reason, and it's for me to learn from that. So I think it's just brings my own belief that the humanity is going in the right direction if people already at this age
come up with regret this remarks, Marta, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I think I'm really hopeful, hearing these kind of things already with people 20 years old. I think this is really great, and I love it.
Yeah, but I think it's still like triggered by something, because I can see that we as people are not born very positive, from nature.
Yeah,
we're really quite hard on ourselves, and the truth is that I used to be like that for quite a long time. So this approach that everything happens for a reason, I guess I could say that it's quite new in my life as well, but I'm already seeing results. Because I used to be so consumed by all sorts of thoughts. I used to be that teenager, that thinks a lot, that locks himself into the room and into his bedroom and just thinks, and that's risky because you get into overthinking, which is unrealistic. It's like you get these ideas in your head that might actually not even be true. So I kind of fought with myself for years. I kept telling myself that I'm not good enough, that this is not for me. What are you trying to do here? Like who are you trying to fool? But the outcome of that thing was just negative stuff, like loneliness and just bitterness in general. It was like nothing could make me happy. So I don't know. That's the tricky thing. I don't know if it happens like that for everybody, but for me, it was very recent that I just felt tired, tired with being, with telling myself these things. So I just said, like, if I spend all these years telling myself that I'm not good enough, let's just try. Let's just like see how it would be if we do it differently. So I'm telling myself now that everything happens for a reason and that there's a purpose.
Do you remember what inspired you? What triggered this change?
No, that's the thing, It was very weird. I guess I just, yeah, now that I think about it, I guess I just got to the bottom, of it all. I felt like empty, I was really sad when I said that to myself. I was feeling lonely, and I just couldn't. It was the moment when I said, "This is rock bottom. Something's gotta change."
Okay, that's really radio magic kind of moment.
Yeah, oh wow.
Right
I was
now.
not expecting that kind of insights, but well, the only thing that comes to my mind is to congratulate you because that's something that many of us are working through our entire life to get to that point, and you got there quite early. We will want to play your song as well, so I guess we will ask you to give us the last two tips in this upcoming minute too, and then we will actually play your song.
All right.
So the two last tips, what are them?
It's to don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to be different and to just switch it up. Because good things come from the unknown. We're kind of used to being afraid of the unknown. But just try.
Okay.
And the last thing is to reach out. You know, all this process was about you know, the inside and like your own self. But then there's this part that you reach a moment when you need to reach out to people. We need connection and appreciation, and it's like a real example for my music. Appreciation can do magic. Like even just one thing, one person can just boost it up.
Yeah, I remember when you told us over the phone when we talked that you were doing the covers, and then you had that moment like, okay, this is not really going anywhere, and then
Yeah.
someone told you, right? What was the situation?
Yeah. So I had the channel, the YouTube channel, for quite a while already, and I just felt like I'm just looking silly, and that is just not working. So I was about to actually record another cover, but I just kept postponing it for days, and it turned into weeks. But then I had this person from my high school, which was not really even someone that I talked a lot with. Like, no, not we're classmates, but still we knew each other. And he reached out and said that I know that this industry stuff, you know, I just keep doing it, you'll get there. And I was like, damn. It was the perfect moment. It just made me smile, and I was like, okay, let's give it another shot.
Yeah, and I would like to say that I think appreciation from someone can do miracles. So people
Yeah.
remember to appreciate others. And now, Paul, we will play your last song, which is Fix You cover. And because we are having very few time, I will just play it right now.
That's perfect.
So bye, guys.
Thank you for being here
And
with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It was
And
so
enjoy.
fun.
And enjoy the cover by Paul. Fix You by Coldplay.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse, and the tears come streaming down your face, when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.